In addition to the CPU basic device, a SIMATIC S7200 can be complemented with expansion modules. These can be connected to the basic components using a ribbon cable and plug. Up to 2 modules can be connected to the CPU 222 and up to 7 modules to the CPU 224, 224XP and 226. The CPU 221 is not expandable. To accommodate space requirements, the S7200 can also be laid out in 2 tiers. The expansion modules can give the S7200 additional functionality as well as increase the number of inputs and outputs. A modular system allows you to upgrade the basic device as required with digital and analog add-ons. The EM221 series expansion modules are equipped with digital inputs. These exist in 3 versions: 8 digital inputs 24-volt DC, 16 digital inputs 24-volt DC, 8 digital inputs 120-volt 230-volt AC. The EM222 expansion modules only come with digital outlets. The EM222 is available in 4 models: 4 transistor outputs 24-volt DC, 8 transistor outputs 24-volt DC, 4 times relays, and 8 times relays. Now over to you. What statements apply to the expansion modules? Drag the statements to the corresponding expansion modules. The EM223 expansion modules come both with digital inputs and outputs. You can choose from 6 versions, which you see illustrated. Analog expansion modules can also be connected to the CPU. The EM231 is equipped with 4 analog inputs, the EM232 with 2 analog outputs. The EM235 is equipped with 4 analog inputs and an analog output. Using 5 different communications modules, you will be able to extend the S7200's communications capability considerably. The EM241 modem module connects the S7200 with the telephone network. The S7200 can thus be reached anywhere in the world, or can actively send data and information of its own accord. This enables you to carry out remote service. Remote inquiry and data transmission is of course also possible. The data transmission protocols are freely selectable, for example SMS, fax, or Modbus RTU. The Profibus DP slave module EM277 connects the S7200 as a slave with a DP network. The transmission rate is up to 12 megabits per second. The bus can support up to 99 devices whose station addresses are freely selectable via a rotary switch. The CP243-2AS interface module converts the S7200 into a powerful master on the AS interface. Up to 62 AS interface slaves can be connected to it. The CP243-1 Ethernet module makes it easy to attach an S7200 to an industrial Ethernet. The Ethernet access is via the RJ45 connector. It supports remote programming, configuration and diagnosis, as well as data transmission. Simultaneous communication with up to 8 S7 PLCs, but also with an OPC server for PC access is possible. The IT module CP243-1 IT offers the same network functionality as the Ethernet module. Additionally, it is also enhanced with the Internet's functionality. The module's IT functions allow you to implement your own homepage on the PLC or else use IT services such as email, file transfer protocol, etc. All the communications modules that have been mentioned can be easily and quickly parameterized using the appropriate wizards. Programming individual functions such as data transmission is no longer necessary. In a step-by-step series of instructions, the wizard asks only for the parameters the function requires. The actual program is generated by the wizard and is then available to the user. Here you see an overview of all the communications options for the various S7200 CPUs. In addition, there are a number of specific expansions. The EM253 positioning model is used to control stepper motors. It issues its instructions to a power system, which then executes the movement via a stepper motor. The EM253 can emit 12 to 200,000 impulses per second. It supports both jerk-free as well as linear accelerations and delays. The module supports other helpful and necessary additional functions, such as, for example, various options for the reference point movement. The positioning wizard supports you in parameterizing and commissioning positioning tasks. This allows even complex procedural profiles to be implemented very easily. Modules for measuring temperatures are available in the following models: the RTD module for measuring temperature by means of resistance, the TC module for measuring measurements using thermo-elements. Temperatures can be recorded accurate to 0.1 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit.